This is a not-important chat. Just trying to do stuff. It's fine, huh? Uh-oh. Everything in me is dead right now. So, for some reason, I didn't feel like setting this all up beforehand. Oh, yes. I have to hear my horrible voice for a second. Don't unmute. Okay. I'm also not in a sweatshirt, so this is very awkward. I'm also dying inside a bit today, so it's also another thing. Oh, hello, one person. Or not. I don't know. I don't know where the video is. Or not. Okay. Okay, no. I didn't want y'all to hear that. I'm not even sure if you could. I'm gonna read Stephen King Revival. I'm gonna sneeze. Nope. Okay. So, I'm not starting at the beginning. I'm starting on page 2 because I already read page 1. Hello, 2 people. Claire gave me an army for my 6th birthday, and on Saturday, oh wait, I already read that. Okay. This was after breakfast, which have been blueberry pancakes and bacon, my favorite. We all got our favorite meals on our birthdays, and the presents always came after breakfast. There in the kitchen with its wood stove, and long table and our hulk of washing machine, which is always breaking down. Forever for Jamie is like 5 days. Con said. He was 10, slender, although he bulked up later. And a scientist even then. Nice one, Conrad, said her father. He was dressed for work in a clean overall with his name, Richard, stitched in gold a gold thread on the left breast pocket. On the right breast pocket it said Morton Fuel Oil. I'm impressed. Thanks, Daddy-o. You just... Okay. Oh god. Your silver tongue wins you the opportunity to help our mother clean up breakfast. It's Andy's turn. It was Andy's turn, Dad said, pouring syrup on the last pancake. Grab a dish towel, silver tongue, and try not to break anything. You spoil him rotten, Con said. They grabbed a dish bowl. Connie wasn't entirely wrong with my concept of forever. 5 days later, the operation gave me... Oh god. I am sick. Very sick. Yeah. 5 days later, the operation game, Andy Oh god, I spat on them. Okay. Gave me was gathering dust bunnies under my bed. Some of the body parts were missing anyway. And he got it at the Iruka Grange rummage sale for $0.25. So were jigsaw puzzles Terry gave me. Con himself gave me a Viewmaster, and that lasted a little bit longer, but eventually wound up in my closet, never to be seen again. My mom and dad, I got clothes because my birthday falls near the end of August, and that year I was going into first grade. I found new pants and shirts. I found new pants and shirts as about exciting as a TV test pattern, but I tried to say thanks with enthusiasm. I imagine they saw through that with no trouble. False enthusiasm doesn't come easily to 6-year-olds. Although, sad to say, it's a skill most of us learn fairly rapidly. In any case, the clothes were washed in the Hulk, hung on the clothesline in the side yard, and finally folded away in my bureau drawers, where, it's probably needless to add, they were out of sight and mind until September came and it was time to put them on. I remember there was a sweater that actually was pretty cool. It was brown with yellow stripes. When I wore it, I pretended I was a superhero called the Human Wasp. Evildoers, beware of my sting! No, it's so cute. But Con was wrong about the Foot Locker. Yeah, okay. I stopped way too early in that. But Con was wrong about the Foot Locker with the army inside. I played with those guys day in and out, usually at the edge of the front yard where there was a dirt strip between our lawn and the Methodist road, which was itself dirt in those days. With the exception of Route 9 and the 2-lane leading to Goat Mountain, where there was a resort for rich people. All the roads in Harlow were dirt back then. You can remember my mother on several occasions weeping about all the dust that got in the house on dry summer days. This is a good story. Am I not correct? Billy Paquette and Al Knowles, my two best friends, played in army with me on many afternoons. For the day Charles Jacobs appeared in my life for the first time, I was on my own. I don't remember why Billy and Al weren't with me, but I do remember I was happy to be by myself for a change. For one thing, there's no need to split the army into 3 divisions. For another, this is more important. I didn't have to argue with them over whose turn it was to win. Truth, it seemed unfair to me that I should ever have to lose, because they were my soldiers, and it was my footlocker. When I advanced this idea to my mother one hot late summer day, shortly after my birthday, she took me by the shoulders and looked me in the eye, a sure sign that I was about to receive another lesson in life. That it's mine business is half the trouble with the world, Jamie. When you play with your friends, the soldiers belong to all of you. Even if they play different sides, even if, when Billy and Al go home for dinner, and you can pack the soldiers back into the box, it's a footlocker! Right, the footlocker. When you pack them away, they're yours again. People have many ways to be lousy to one another, and you'll find out when you're older. But I think that all bad behavior stems from plain old selfishness. Promise me you'll never be selfish, kiddo. I promise. But I still didn't like it when Billy and Al won. No one likes it when someone else wins. It's just like a life thing. Blech. Stretch. On that day, in October of 1962, With the fate of the world dangling by a thread over a small tropical split of land called Cuba, I was fighting both sides of the battle, which meant I was bound to come on top. The sound grader had been early on Methodist Road, moving the rocks around. My dad always grumbled. And there was plenty of loose dirt. I scrapped together enough to make first a hill, then a big hill, and a very big hill. One that came up to almost my knees. At first I thought of calling it Goat Mountain, but it seemed both unoriginal, the real Goat Mountain was only 12 miles away after all, and boring. After consideration, I decided to call it Skull Mountain. I even tried to poke a couple of eye-like caves with my fingers, but the dirt was dry and the holes kept caving in. Oh well, I told the plastic soldiers, tumbled in their footlocker. The world is hard and you can't have everything. This was one of my favorite father's sayings. With the 5 kids to support, I'm sure he had reason to believe it. There'll be 10 caves. I put my army on top of Skull Mountain, and they made a formidable crew. This is pretty dank, am I right? Oh god, the quality on the video just dropped down. I'm not sure if that happened for you guys, but it did for me. I don't know. Crap. I especially like the way that the Mortor guys looked up there. These were the Croats, the American Army I raged at the end of the line. They all got jeeps and trucks because they would look so groovy charging up the steep slope of the mountain. Some would turn over, but I was sure. But at least a few of them would make it to the top and run over the Mortor guys, who would scream for mercy. They wouldn't get it. To the death! I said, setting up the last few heroic Americans. Hitzmer, you're next. I was starting them forward, rank by rank, and making a comic book style machine gun noise. When a shadow fell over the battlefield, I looked up and saw a guy standing there. He was blocking the afternoon sun, a silhouette surrounded by a golden light of a human eclipse. There was stuff going on. At our house, Saturday afternoons, there always was. Andy and Con were in our long backyard, playing 3 flies 6 grounders with a bunch of their friends, shouting and laughing. Claire was up in her room with a couple of friends, playing recordings on her Imperial's Party Time turntable, The Locomotive, Soldier Boy, Palisades Park. There was hammering in the garage too, as Terry and her dad worked on the old 51 Ford. Dad called it the Road Rocket, or the Project. Once I heard him call it a piece of shit. A phrase I treasured, then use it now, and still use it now. When you want to feel better, calling something a piece of shit, it usually works. Plenty going on, but at that moment everything seemed to fall still. I know it's this sort of illusion only caused by faulty memory, not to mention the suitcase loaded with darkest associations, but the recollection is very strong. All of a sudden, there was no kids yelling in the back. Oh god. No kids yelling in the backyard, no records playing upstairs, no banging from the garage. Not a single bird singing. I'm sorry, that was disgusting. The man bent down, and the westering sun glared over his shoulder, momentarily blinding me. I raised the hand to shield my eyes. Sorry, he said, and moved enough so that I could look at him without having to look into the sun. On top of that, he was wearing a black for church jacket and a black shirt with a notched collar on the bottom, blue jeans, and scuffed loafers. It was like he wanted to be two different people at the same time. At the age of 6, I put adults into three categories: young adults, grown-ups, and old people. This guy was a young grown-up. He had his hands on his knees so that I could tell, so that he could look at the opposing armies. "Who are you?" I asked. "Charles Jacob." The name was vaguely familiar. He stuck out his hand and shook it right away. Because even at 6, I had my manners. All of us did. Mom and Dad saw to that. "But why are you wearing a collar with a hole in it?" "Because I am a minister. When you go to church on Sundays, from now on, I'll be there. And if you go Thursday night, MYF, I'll be there too." "Mr. Latour used to be our minister," I said. "But he died." "I know. I'm sorry." "It's okay, though, because Mom said he didn't suffer, only went straight to heaven. But he didn't wear a collar like that, though, because Bill Latour was a lay preacher. That means he was sort of a volunteer. He kept the church open when there was no one else to do that. He was very good at him. "I think my dad knows about you. He's the deacon in the church. He gets up to take the collection. He has to take turns in it with the other deacons, though. Sharing is good," Jacob said. He got down on his knees beside me. "Are you going to pray?" The idea sounded alarming. Praying was for church and wait, is that him saying? I don't know. Praying was for church and Methodist Youth Fellowship, which was my brothers and sister called Thursday Night School. When Mr. Jacob started it up again, this would be my first year. Just like it was with my first year at regular school. "If you want to talk to my dad, he's in the garage with Terry. They're putting a new clutch in the road rocket." "Well, my dad is. Terry is mostly hands in the tools and watches. He's 8. I'm 6. I think my mom might be in the back porch, watching the guys play 3 flies with 6 grounders, which we used to call rolly bat when I was a kid." He said. He smiled. It was a nice smile. I liked him right away. "Yeah?" "Uh-huh. Because you had to sit there with the bat and with the ball after you caught it. What's your name, son?" "Jamie Morton. I'm 6. "So you said." "I don't think anyone has ever prayed in our front yard." "I'm not going to do that either." "What I want is a closer look at your armies. Which are the Russians and which are the Americans?" "Well, these ones on the ground are the Americans, sure, but the ones on Skull Mountain are the Croats. The Americans have to take the mountain." "Because it's in the way," Jacob said. "Beyond Skull Mountain lies the road to Germany." "That's right. And the head Kron, Hitzmer. It's the author of so many evils," he said. "Huh?" "Nothing. Do you mind if I called the bad guys Germans? Croats seem kind of mean." "No, that's great. Croats are Germans, and Germans are Croats. My dad is in the war. Just last year, though. He fixed the trucks in Texas. Were you in the war, Mr. Jacob?" "No, I was too young. For Korea, too." "How are the Americans going to take that hill, General Morton?" "Charge it!" I shouted. "Shoot their machine guns! Pow! Bada 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 bada!" Then oh god, then going down way in my throat. Taka taka taka! Jeez. "A direct attack on the high ground sounds risky, General. If I were you, I'd split your troops. Like so. You moved half of the Americans to the left side and half to the right. That creates a pincer movement. See? Brought his thumb and forefinger together. Drive on the objective from both sides." "Maybe," I said. I like the idea of a head-on attack, lots of bloody action. But Mr. Jacob's idea appealed to me. Ugh. Just the same. It was sneaky. Sneaky could be satisfying. "I tried to make some caves, but the dirt's too dry, so I see. He poked his finger into Skull Mountain and watched the dirt crumble and bury the hole. He stood up and brushed the knees of his jeans. I've got a little boy who'd probably get a kick up out of your shoulders in another year or two. He can play right now if he wants to. I was trying not to be selfish. Where is he? Still in Boston with his mother. There's lots of stuff to pack up. They'll be here Wednesday, I think. Thursday at the latest, but Maury's still a little too young for soldiers. He'd only pick at them and throw them around. How old is he? Just 2. I bet he still pees his pants. I yelled and started laughing. Probably wasn't polite, but I couldn't help it. Kids pee their pants. It was just so funny. He does at that, Jacob said, smiling. And I'm sure he'll grow out of it. Your father's in the garage, you say? Yeah, I remember. Now I remember where I was able to hear the man's name before. Mom and Dad were at the supper table, talking about the new minister that was coming from Boston. Isn't he awfully young? My mother had asked. Yes, and his salary will reflect that, my dad said and grinned. They talked about him some more, I think, but I didn't pay any attention. Andy was hogging all the mashed potatoes. He always did. You try that infiltrating you try that inflating maneuver, he said, starting away. Huh? Pincers, he said and tweezed his thumb, then fingered together. Oh yeah, great. I tried it. It works pretty good. The Krauts all died. The battle wasn't what I called spectacular, though. I tried the frontal assault with the trucks and jeeps toppling off the steep slope of the mountain, with the Krauts crumbling off in the back with the death cries of despair. Yeah! Mom and Dad and Mr. Jacobs sat at the front porch while battle raged, drinking iced tea and talking about churchy things. In addition to my dad being a deacon, my mom was into the ladies' auxiliary. Not the boss of it, but she was next to the boss. That was disgusting. I'm sorry. You should have seen all the fancy hats she'd had in those days. There must have been a dozen. You were happy then. My mother called my brothers and sister, along with their friends, to meet the new minister. I started to come too, but Mr. Jacobs waved back at me, telling my mom we'd already met. Battle on, General! He called. I battled on. Con and Andy and their friends went out back and played on. Claire and her friends went upstairs and danced on, although my mother told her to turn the music down. Please and thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Morton and the River Jacobs talked on for a while. I remember often being surprised at how much adults could yak. It was tiring. I lost track of them because I was fighting the Battle of Skull Mountain over and over again in several different ways. The most satisfying scenario, adapted from Mr. Jacobs' pinchers at the moment. One part of the American army kept the Germans pinned down from the front, while the rest looped around and ambushed the Germans from behind. What is this? One of them cried, just before getting shot in the head. Oh. I was starting to get tired of it, and I'm thinking of going for a slice of cake if Con and Andy and his friends had left any, when a shadow fell over me and my battlefield again. I saw Mr. Jacobs holding a glass of water. I heard this from your mother. Can I show you something? Sure. He knelt down again and poured the water all over Skull Mountain. Oh God. He knelt down again and poured the water all over the top of Skull Mountain. I'm gonna stop there. This book was $18. This is most random. I hope y'all enjoyed nothing. It was like half an hour of me reading a book. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Okay. Well, I guess I will see you guys later then. Okay. Bye-bye.